Okay, today I'm going to show you how to draw a whale, and the whale I'm going to be drawing is a southern right whale, just like the one that appears in my book Welcome Home Whales. And I've got all my gear. I've got a little sheet that you can actually download off my website and print off to use at home, which gives you some instructions, and I have an eraser so that I can rub out the lines that I don't want to use. So the first thing we need to do is have a look at the shapes that you see in a whale. And so we look at the whale, we have to look very carefully. When we draw, we have to use our eyes before we use our brains, because our eyes will tell us what we see. And so I like to break it all down into shapes. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. So here we go. So I'm going to put in a triangle for a tail, two triangles joined together. Notice I'm pressing very softly, and then I'm going to put in sort of a chopped off triangle. The fun thing about this is that you can make a whale that looks like a whale, or you can use these shapes to make robot animals when you use the different shapes to do things. Okay, a little wedge shaped here. Our brains tend to tell us that we know stuff even when we don't. And so when we're drawing, that's why I said we need to use our eyes to look at something, because our eyes will tell us when something is right or wrong. Our brain will say, well, that's close enough. But our eyes will say, oh, it's not quite there yet. So we've got to use our eyes. And then we have a little wedge shape here. Okay. So do you notice that I haven't worried about making extra lines? So now I'll get my pencil, and I'm using a pacer pencil, but you can use a regular pencil. Don't use one that's too hard because it will mark your paper. Now I'll start to make those shapes into a whale, softening, using them as my map to draw a southern right whale. Now you might say, oh, I can do that without using the shapes. Well, that's great. And after you've done it quite a few times, your muscles remember how to draw things. So that's why practicing what we draw is really important, because our muscles remember how to do that drawing. Okay, and that bit there goes there, and that bit there goes there. And now what we can do is we can come in and carefully erase. And I have a special little brush that I use so that I don't smudge it too much. And now we can put in even more detail. Have you ever seen a whale? Because I have from a distance. There's a bit I missed there. And they're just so beautiful to watch. The southern right whales are one of the most playful whales that you can get. They like to leap and bounce out of the water. And there we go. And now we're going to put on the markings. They don't have to be exactly the same all the time, because each whale has different markings, and they're like their fingerprints, especially the lumpy bits on their noses and around their heads, which are called callosities. If you can hear a little tinker tinker, that's my dog who's just come in underneath my desk. There we go. And you can start to add some shadow and shade if you want to. Add a little bit of texture. It takes a little bit of time to learn how to draw things, especially if it's the first time. So just be patient, like you are with everything else. I've been drawing whales for a very long time. So now you've got a nice finished whale. Keep practicing. Bye.